It's hard to me. I mean, like when they say boy band. What's a boy band?
Where's the band at?
Yeah.
You got 5 guys singing and no band, no musicians.
Yeah, girl band. You know what I mean? Like, you know, these are things we never heard. So all of a sudden now, like they're just playing with words now. They just doing anything they want to do with this thing, you know. But anyway, you are evolving now.
Yeah, I'm involved in a lot of different ways. Well, coming back to the States from Japan, you know, I had gotten married. I got married in 1994. So this
How long you
year,
been married?
this year will be 19 years.
19 years.
And in May, it'll be 19 years, May 16th.
Who's that sitting next to you?
It's my lovely wife, J.D. Holland.
Say hello
Hello.
to everybody. Say your name.
I am J.J. Holland, Mark One's wife, originally from the Philippines.
Philippines.
Yes, and spent most of my adult life in Japan. That's where
Okay.
we met. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys were in Japan for how long together?
I've been together.
8 years for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. She actually, now my wife has her own history. Of course, everybody has their own story.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna, you know, give a little insight about my other side of my extended family,
Okay.
which is my wife's dad, which is my father-in-law, who is no longer with us. His name is Katino Lapus.
Katino.
Katino Lapus. I have to say that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a legend in his own right because he was a television producer in the Philippines in the 60s. And his television show was...
Actually, they started in the 50s.
Yeah, started in the 50s. It ran for 38 years.
Wow. He is a legend.
And...
Television.
Yeah, and he had a show
Called
and you say the name.
Eskwelahan Munti.
See, it's slower.
Eskwelahan Munti,
What is that?
meaning little school,
Okay.
which is a show about
It was a variety show.
it's a variety show of singing, dancing,
Okay.
acting,
And it was geared to
building up the future stars of the Philippines.
Okay. Okay. Developmental. type
Yes,
thing.
correct.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
before American Idol, Star Search and all
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But that had more elements to it than singing, dancing, acting. You know, so it kind of did the whole spectrum of show business around there, you know. And a lot of Filipino stars that are
Actually now second or third
third
generation
generation came from
that
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So where you developed type of show where you developed dimensions
right,
in the art form.
right,
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you had to be, maybe you would have to dance, sing.
Yes, you have to do everything.
And do it. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's different.
Yes,
And that's where she started.
Yeah.
that's how I started,
Okay.
at the age of 5,
Okay.
yeah. And you're introducing my dad, so was my mom.
Yeah, and of course I have to give a shout out to the mother-in-law,
Yeah. Please do.
who also was as a singer
Actress.
and an actress, and her name is Edith Umali. And you know, she's a very beautiful lady, and that's why he went for her.
Exactly. Exactly. And I must say, I met your lovely daughter. I think she's 18.
Yes,
She's 18.
You guys did a great job on her. She's beautiful and
Thank you.
smart,
thank you.
you know, and she's deep too, because to be 18, she's really into the genre of music. I guess by you being pops, that you're doing, and like she gets it.
Yeah.
You know, she understands the realism of that genre of music as opposed to what might be available to her.
Well, you know, she grew up because, like, you know, J.J.
I always took her everywhere.
She was singing. She sang when she was pregnant with her. So she all the way up to a week before pregnancy, and she she was hearing her singing in the womb. So, and after that, she went right back to work. So she had different elements of the music, different styles of music she grew up listening
Genetics.
to. Yeah. You know, because of the stuff that she does and likes, it's different from what I do and like, but we appreciate each other's. You know.
Genetic.
Yeah.
Between the two of y'all, she got strong genes
Right.
in music. Yeah.
And my wife's family, the Lapus family, there's a lot of history in that family. So a lot of entertainers came from that. And actually, there's her nephew, John Lapus, who's actually one of the Filipino celebrities out there in the Philippines now. It's a product that generation, another generation of extension of her her father. So there's so much history on that side. But when I met my wife, you know, I thought her voice was something special, and I thought that she needed to have her own music.
Okay.
So I encouraged her to record her own stuff, and I reproduced a couple of EPs on her own label,
Okay.
Intercity Records. The first EP was entitled Good Loving. Good Loving, 1998. It's only 6 songs on that EP. But,
Okay.
picked up some attention overseas, in Germany and in England and Belgium and Netherlands, all over that area.
Benelux.
Yeah,
You familiar with Benelux?
not really.
Belgium, Luxembourg. It's a triad. Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. It's 3 major countries, and if you catch on in those countries, you're good. You know. Belgium, Benelux. Oh, it comes to me, but anyway, it's 3 major places.
Yeah. And so we released that first debut EP, 1998.
What was the title?
Good Lovin'.
Okay.
LOVIN apostrophe. Good Lovin'. Yeah, and that was a debut of her solo original material. And at the time, you know, when I started producing that record, I had a friend of mine that collaborated with me on that. And she was still in Japan, so we really couldn't grasp the essence of what she really wanted. Except, I think, one song on that album really shows what she's about, and that was the title of the song, Love of My Life.
Love
of My Life.
Love of My Life, okay.
And
It's the same EP?
It's the same EP.
From Good Loving.
Yeah, from
Okay.
Good Loving EP. And actually the writer of that song, co-writer of that song, her name was Tomo Kasahara. And she does a lot of writing for some of the Japanese idol singers in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Did you guys ever hear of a group ASAP?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually used to go to the girl that sang in that group, Diane Gordon. She was the lead singer for that group.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
used to sing one of their songs.
They had a little thing going on over there for a while.
Yeah, I remember that. That was around the time when I first went over. Yeah. Yeah. So after the first EP, we moved because my wife and my daughter came to the United States in 1999. Came to California.
Okay.
And after about a year, we moved to Vegas. Kind of got sidetracked in Vegas. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speak too much about Vegas. I love you, Vegas, but I don't. You know, but since we're talking about our story, I guess I have to be real on this, you know, and I want to come up to date a little bit, because you know, there's so many people out here listening that, you know, everybody has a story, no matter what you do, and everybody has ups and downs, and sometimes when you're on the road and you're playing with different people who are doing different things in the spotlight, people tend to put you on pedestals or not. And they don't really know what you're really going through.
They don't know you.
They don't know what you're really going through.
They don't know you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's on you to share that information. And that's the one thing that we have left in this world, in this life, you know. We have, that's our option.
Right.
You know, if you want to share that part of you, then you can. If you don't, you don't have to. It's essential now that we share information because we got people that are interested.
That's right.
It's important to
That's
them.
right.
It's important to them
Yes.
now.
And you know, and as a Christian, it's a part of your story is your testimony. You know, and everything you go through is a part of your testimony, and whether it be good or bad. You know, you was talking about my daughter, how grounded and stuff she is, because we raised her that way.
Absolutely, it shows.
And you know, she amazes me because, you know, about 2 years ago, we went through some very hard times. You know, as you know, I was in Las Vegas, and I would play the lounges when Richie wasn't on the road. Because that's the reason I moved to Vegas. I said, well, when Richard ain't out here, ain't nothing going on, I can go to work. So I said, well, what best place to do that? Las Vegas. So, I went to Vegas. I took her there because, you know, she was, you know, making 6 figures in Japan, working every night, 6 nights, 7 nights a week or whatever. I said, well, what's the best place to do that? Here in the States, Las Vegas. So we go to Las Vegas, and we end up staying there 11 years. And not by choice. We just kind of got stuck in there.
Las Vegas turned into Lost Wages.
Las Vegas.
That's
That's right.
exactly the right
Exactly what
term.
it is. But you know, I would always go out with Little Richard, and then 2008.
Yeah.
2008. Because Richard, I remember probably around 2007, we were out with him, and he had a cane. I was like, hey, Rich, what's going on? He was like, oh, you know, doctor said it's my sciatic nerve, you know. And so we went out, went back home. Next time we came out, he had 2 canes. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? No, they you know, doctor keeps talking about my sciatic nerve. He get on stage, you know, talk about the sciatic nerve. Then somebody told me, man, Rich, you should use crutches, because crutches are temporary, you know, because he didn't like that cane. He didn't like nobody seeing him with that cane. So he goes, he walks around with the crutches, but he could still, because at that time he used to come out to the show and he'd walk up on top of the piano, spread his arms out and everything and stuff, you know. So he was still able to at least do that.
Yeah, he's mobile.
Got to the point where he couldn't do that anymore. He had to sit down. So he sit down in that chair for 3 years till 2008. I guess the doctor said, look, if you don't take care of this now, you know, you can forget about walking again. So he went in to have hip replacement surgery in September 2008, had a heart attack.
Doing the surgery?
No, he went there for surgery, got to the hospital early, and pulled up there and was having problems breathing. Actually, I have to give out a shout to Walter Prospers, who travels with us. He actually grabbed Richard, picked him up, took him in there, and they started working on him right away. He was having a heart attack right there.
Pretty stressing, man.
He was stressed. The stress of it was too much for him. Had a heart attack. They had 3 blocked arteries. So they took care of that. And he actually did a gig after that, about the next month, and then canceled everything after that. And at that particular time, housing market in Vegas was crashing and everything, and tourism was down, so even my work outside of Richard was minimal. And the following year, Richard didn't really work that much. And then he had hip replacement
He did?
the following year, since his heart got strong enough.
Okay.
And we were having hard times financially. And he had the hip replacement and ended up having to go back and get another one done the following week because they didn't do it right the first time. So he was going through, and I'm calling him, seeing how he's doing, and he's in pain, and this and that and the other, and we about to get evicted. And he was like, I tried to see this, but I can't get to the bank, you know. And I don't even want to ask him, you know. It's like, you know, he's in the hospital. Well, result of all of that, you know, we sustained through that whole situation for about another year, and then we finally lost our home. 2011.
Okay.
Now my daughter went through all of this, right?
Absolutely.
So
And she was injured.
she was injured actually, right? Actually, when we got evicted, because she had injured her leg, because she dances too.
Yeah.
She's a dancer, and so she had an injured knee. Actually, she tore a ligament, and
Just what you needed.
and all of this. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
So, you know, it was a whole lot of stuff that stressed and stuff. So we just relied on our faith. Man. We prayed. We prayed, man. We prayed.
This is exactly what we followed here, right here.
Yeah, we prayed and we stayed on one accord as a family, man.
Yeah.
And I have to give a shout out to our church home that was in Vegas that supported us, and that was a Family Worship Christian Center.
Pastors,
Pastor
John,
Denise G, and they were there helping us, supporting us, and paying our rent on time. You know, giving us food, and all the church family.
And the church family, yes.
You know, and also
Who was the church mother?
The pastor's wife is Pastor D.
What's her name?
Denise.
Better
Pastor
say her name.
Denise. Pastor Denise. But we also have few spiritual moms, which is Miss Lee Kingberry,
Yeah.
and Mrs. Rosemary Span,
Yeah.
Miss Marianne Lucente,
Yes.
and a lot of friends.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of sisters and
Yeah,
brothers.
they love hearing their names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love knowing they're being taught up.
Yeah,
you know.
and Miss Gloria too, our healing teacher,
Mhm.
healing school teacher.
And Mr. Vern and Miss Vicky Shelton.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So many people.
So many.
So many people. You know, God puts people in your path
Yes.
at the right time.
Mhm.
And I also want to give a shout out to, I have to tell this story about Mr. Bennis, the librarian at Green Valley High School, where my
Green
daughter
Valley.
was going to high school. She was a sophomore at the time.
Mhm.
And J-Day was volunteering a couple times a week in the library. But she hadn't been for a while.
JJ.
My wife, J-Day.
Okay.
And she hadn't been for a while, so when we were leaving, we had Vegas, we had to withdraw my daughter from school, and J-Day says, well, I want to go say goodbye to Mr. Bennis.
Mhm.
And so she goes to say bye to him while I wait for my daughter to come out of class. And so once my daughter comes out, I told my daughter, well, I'm gonna go get your mom. So I go up to the library, and my wife is gone. Now, I met the librarian one time on a brief, just a brief, hey, how you doing, Mr. Holland, and whatever, because he always, my daughter used to go to the library a lot, so this particular day I go up there, my wife is gone, and he sees me, and he signals for me to come, and I come in, and he goes, your wife is not here, you got a minute? And I'm like, sure. So he takes me back in his office, and he goes, your wife was kind of explaining to me what was going on with you guys, and he said, how can I help? I'm like, I don't know what to say, because I don't know him, you know, and I don't know him, and I don't know what she told him.
She done did it again.
You know. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I tell him, I don't know what to say. And he goes, he says, would $1,000 help you? And I started crying like a baby. He said, look, he said, me and my wife, we've been together for a long time. We've had times where, you know, somebody had to help us, you know. This is not a loan, it's a gift.
Wow.
You know.
Wow. Beautiful.
And so I go, hey, can I go find my wife so she could be a part of this? So I go find her, and anyway, make a long story short, he gives him and his wife, they gave us $1,000, along with the help of our church, and we loaded up with a U-Haul van and came back to LA.
Okay. Beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, man.
So, and it's been a struggle for the last couple of years. I mean, we bounced around a lot, and spent some nights in a car, in a vehicle.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
You know. But we wasn't on the street though. We never slept on the street.
Put y'all together right there. Listen, okay, we're about to get into some music. We'll be right back with Mark Holland, y'all. Very touching story. He and his wife, JJ, beauties in the eye of the beholder in every aspect. This is JCS 2364. I'm Frankie Cash White, and you're listening to my show, Funky Drums and Things, forever fucking on. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I was reading this, I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's
This is one of,
Yeah.
this is one of.
Yeah.
You know, to tell a little story, we had these two things sitting here. But Frankie has a saying that he tells his listeners every time he signs out. So we didn't want people to get confused with what he was trying to put out there along with this. So I said, I understand, Frankie, I'm going to take this down, but I can't take this down. And Frankie said, I agree with you. I agree. So we put this off to the side.
Absolutely.
And when and Frank was like, hey, you know, we both was like, hey, maybe we need to keep it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it is the truth.
I mean, this was yesterday, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes,
I become emotional.
God, man, you have to follow.
No, you do your thing.
You have
That's
to follow,
what.
you have to follow God's lead, and I'm a
Yes.
firm believer in that, because it ain't about us.
No.
I mean, we just vehicles in this game, you know, and like, as long as we understand that, we can go far.
Just
you
like
know?
coming back to California, everybody was like, what you gotta do?
Yeah.
I was like, because we prayed about this before the eviction is, I told my husband, I don't want to do what we want to do. I want to follow God. Whatever He puts in our heart, that's what we follow, whether we like it or not. And so when all this thing happened, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
As we knew it was the Lord, because when we were on that old truck, we were happy.
Oh yeah.
We were smiling and laughing on the truck, not knowing where we're going. We had nowhere to go.
Well, see, what you got to understand is, at some juncture, the reality set in that you guys understood that what happiness is you.
Right.
You know, that's why I was laughing, because it was y'all, three of you guys were together, and whatever that you were going into it together, and you knew.
We're one accord.
And you knew you were
Oh, yeah.
together.
Right.
So that's why you were smiling.
Yes, we were laughing.
Yeah,
We were
and
joking.
it's a beautiful thing. It's very touching, and I get it.
Yeah.
But all we got to do, man, is just let God do what He does, because He's
Yes.
not gonna give us more we can deal with.
Mm.
And it gets rough.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy sometimes. you
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean? But it's almost like in each phase, it's like you get stronger.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
You
that's
get
right.
more information,
Yes.
Get
and,
strong.
and you get stronger.
Yes.
You know, and like, hey, you know, we can go on and on about that, but just follow that lead.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
That's
not,
all we got.
We're not. It's not us.
Yes. It's not us.
Not me.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
don't try to make me
He's just
heavy.
using you as a vessel.
Yeah, don't try to make me heavy. I ain't going for it.
Yeah.
Cause that's the problem now with the cats that feel like they're the heavy ones.
Yeah, they'll be the first
And
ones
they-
out the camp.
They're the first
Yeah.
one, and they're the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
You know, all our lead, quote unquote, lead cats are
Yeah.
the worst. They tripped out. You know, cause they went for it. You know, they bit that apple. They bit that. You know, they went for it.
Right.
But okay. So anyway, we come back in. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, this is a good way to wrap. Wow. Yeah. Okay. See. Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
mean to
yeah,
cry.
right.
No.
Brought that whole thing in there. Okay. But I love it though. We come back in. You're on your way back to LA.
Yeah, we have to do 68.
You're on your way back to LA, not knowing exactly what you were coming into, knowing you together, and you whatever the case be, you're gonna sort it out
Right.
together. So we start there, and then we work our way on out. Then we close this thing off now, cause we got the goods.
Yeah.
We got the goods. When it can wind up everybody being a little touched, a little choked up a little bit,
Yeah,
that's the
done.
good. That's the goods.
The Larry Dunn's wife.
Oh man, that was really deep. Larry Dunn is. Have you ever met Larry Dunn?
No.
Oh man, you love him. You done met what's his name?
Johnny.
Oh man, you love Larry Dunn. And he was a cat. That was him
Yeah.
doing all that stuff. All right, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. 4, 3, 2.
JCS 2364, and we're coming live from the Funk House on the tip top of Mount Funk. This is Frankie Cass White, and you're listening to my show, Internet Radio, International Feed, my show, Funky Drums and Things. Today's guest, Mark Holland, aka Mark 1. This is my homeboy from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. Drummer extraordinaire with his funky self. Mark, we are on our way back to LA.
We're on our way back to LA, and we don't know where we're gonna go. But we just following God, man. You know, we trusting in God. You know, that's something I've always done all my life. But I'm more aware of it now. And you know, my family. You know, before I was by myself when I was out there, never alone, but you know, in the physical, I was by myself. But now I got my family. We ain't got no place to stay. We're on our way back to LA. We're just asking the Lord to lead us in the right direction. And a friend of mine called me up and tells me to come to his house. And so we
Who was that?
his name is Larry Houston.
Okay.
He's one of my homeboys from Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
And so we go to his house, and we stayed there for about 5 months.
Okay.
And we bounced
And that's a
around.
blessing.
We bounced around a lot, actually. You know, we bounced around different places.
But you had a base though.
We had a base.
Yes.
And there was a time where we didn't have a base. There was a couple of times where, you know, we spent the night in the car. you know, walking, you know. So, because, you know, prior to leaving Las Vegas, my car broke down and stopped working, so I didn't have no wheels either. You know? So, you know, and, you know, I'm thinking to myself, how in the world I get in this position, you know? And I play with the king of rock and roll, you know? You know, but it's not even, like you said, it's not about me. You know, and through this process, that's one thing I've learned, that it's not about me. It's not about what I do, what anybody else does. It's all about God and what He has planned for you. And sometimes He puts you in, because He wants us to trust on Him. And not put all our trust in ourselves and some other person. Because word says put no trust in man, so that includes myself. So I have to just trust in Him, and with that, that's how I live my life, and He has brought us